It's a dreary-ass day in Manhattan. Took an hour and a half to drive in because when it rains, everybody forgets how to fucking drive a car, apparently. What is that about? It rains, and all of a sudden, you add a half hour to everywhere you're fucking going. It drives me up a fucking goddamn wall. Anyway, I'm here. I'm a little bit wet, but I got my man Za behind the glass. What up, Za?
How we doing, Kev? How we doing?
We got Nikki Hammer back there as well.
Yo.
So we're going to get into it today. We're going to be taking your calls. I got to start off with Dave Chappelle. There's very few times where like I wake up to the news and to the timeline and the tweets and the messages and being tagged by people. Everybody knows what 1 Minute Man's going to be. Everyone knows what the news of the day is. It's Dave Chappelle getting bum rushed on stage at the Hollywood Bowl. I just finished up the 1 Minute Man. Super producer BC is working on the edit now, adding all the pictures and the captions, so that'll be out in a little bit. But Dave Chappelle was on stage last night doing stand-up when a fan, or I guess not a fan, a person in the event, rushed the stage and tried to tackle him. And that didn't go so well for that dude. He apparently also had a fake gun on him that when you pull the trigger, a knife blade comes out. But first of all, that's a knife. Second of all, if you don't know it's just a knife, you think it's a fucking gun, people are going to go crazy. So he got dragged backstage, and it was Dave Chappelle. It was Jamie Foxx. It was Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is fucking huge, dude. And Dave came back out and was like, I just stomped him out. So that dude got worked. And when the footage was released, this is him trying to bum rush the stage. Good on Dave Chappelle, who, like, just ate that spear. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. Good core strength out of Dave Chappelle. Good balance. They dragged him back there, beat the fuck out of him. Dave came back and was like, I just stomped him out. Busta Rhymes was telling me, yeah, that's how you do it. So if Busta Rhymes is telling you, like, you did a good job stomping dudes out, you know that you got your licks in. When they showed the footage of the aftermath of the guy, he looked lumped up, and look at this arm. That is totally backwards. It looked like a fucking flamingo leg, man. I'm imagining that's more probably from security when they do that thing where they carry you out with your arm behind your back and they decided to just pop it. Because I don't know how you, like, if you're beating somebody and stomping on them, unless you just decide to grab their arm and fucking yank it, I don't understand how someone's arm ends up backwards.
I heard that was Jamie Foxx.
Is that what it was?
That's what I heard. I'm hearing rumors that was Jamie Foxx right there.
Chappelle came back out and was like, Jamie Foxx, anytime, what did he say? He was like, anytime you're in need of help, Jamie Foxx appears with a sheriff's hat on. So I guess Jamie Foxx was the hero that swooped in and did the damage. But he got lumped up, man. He looks like Tom Segura after Tom broke his arm trying to dunk. He was lumped up. He looked like Pops from fucking the Wayans brothers, all old and shit. It was not a good move on that guy's part. And I know, a lot of people were like, this is what happens. Like, Will Smith rushed the stage, and now everyone's going to do this and think that they can do it to comedians. And I kind of laughed it off, being like, oh, yeah, this is just going to – now we're just going to have a rash of people rushing the stage. But, this is no doubt a crazy dude. I would imagine this was probably going to happen one way or the other. But you can't deny it. Like, somebody rushes the stage on a comedian at the Oscars. A few weeks later, somebody rushes the stage on Dave Chappelle. So, of course, Chappelle the GOAT, he came right back out on stage and was like, it was a trans man. Trans man was trying to get me. So, on the one hand, it's very scary that someone could get on stage. There was a fake gun, but it easily could have been a real gun, whether it was a knife, gun, whatever. Of course, it's very scary. On the other hand, I feel like this is like a dream come true for comedians, Like, if this shit happened to me, I'm going to put this out there right now. If you want to rush the stage on one of my shows and try to tackle me, go right ahead. You can't kill me, can't break my bones. But if you want to rush the stage and cause a scene, let's go. Because I'm trying to go viral here, baby. I need material, dude. The more chaos, the fucking better.
Dude, we're going to Philly next.
Yeah, yo.
I'm going to be fucking back in my bouncer days.
I'm going to need Nicky Bouncer on stage just ready to fucking stop all the Philly dirtballs from jumping on those Delco dirt bags. Last time I was in Philly, we were live on stage in Philly. I I was clowning the city like, we always do. Talking about snowballs and Santa and shooting off flares at Monday Night Football and cheering Michael Irvin when he's paralyzed. All the hits, And the crowd was like legitimately like upset about it. I was like, well, Philly, fucking relax, dude. This is like hack material here. You can't be serious. But we're coming back, and I'm still going to make fun of your asses. Tickets are not moving right now, and I don't know what the fuck. Philly talked all this shit for so long. Come to bring KFC Radio to Philly. You got to come to Philly. We're here. We love you, blah, blah, blah. Tickets are on sale. I was like, I expected to sell out like overnight like we did in Boston. But we'll get there. It'll be a sellout at the Fillmore. It's May 16th is the date, I think, right? May 16th? It's that weekend. It's the second weekend in May.
I think 19th.
19th? Okay, May 19th maybe. So go get your tickets to that. Go to KFC Radio on the social handles.
Yeah, it's a Thursday. It's the 19th.
Okay. Oh, right, Thursday. Because we also have Barstool at the Ballpark on May 14th. You can go get your tickets for that. So, yeah, me personally, like, I feel like, especially Dave Chappelle now, you bum rush the stage on Dave Chappelle killing them softly, it's a different story. Dave Chappelle got yoked up this last like decade. He's a big dude now. He's not quite as he went full like WWF for a moment there. I think he was on the roids maybe. He was like ready to explode. Now he's, more reasonable size, but still able to whoop that ass. And when you got him, Jamie Foxx, Busta Rhymes, all the security guards, everybody else who was backstage, whew, I mean, what goes through your head when you do that?
It's like a spear. Like, what are you doing?
You gotta just be like out of your fucking mind, right? Like that's gotta be next level insane. Where like, what is the end goal? Unless you're just trying to kill the dude. But
yeah, because you saw when he was running off, he had like 30 guys chasing after him. Like, what did he think was going to happen? Right? It's like one of you. It's the whole security team.
You're not going to like escape, and you're not going to win unless you're going to legitimately like try to assassinate someone and kill them. What's going to happen here? Reminds me of when that dude yanked Big J off stage. When Big J Okerson was sitting on stage, this was like a summer ago maybe. He, he's doing kind of his patented storytelling where he sits on a stool, and some dude ran up. This was a little different though, because Big J was clowning the guy in the crowd. He was making fun of, I think, his sister. But it was like regular crowd work. The girl was drunk. She was being loud and heckling, and so Big J was making fun of her. The guy got up, grabbed Big J by the ankles, and like yanked him down off the stool, so he like hit his back and got pulled off stage. And that's when like Lewis and all those dudes, and like Lewis does MMA and Jay's a big guy, like a bunch of dudes who are not to be fucked with. Yeah, you pull a guy off stage like that, like, dude, Jay's lucky he didn't fucking shatter a leg on that. And I think that guy got worked. I don't know if he ended up with a fucking backwards flamingo leg pretzel arm like this guy did, but it did not go well for him either.
Like, how does he get in? How does he get in with a fake gun? Don't they have like metal detectors or?
I mean,
shit
I guess
like
if
that?
it's fake, it's. But if it has a knife, like
Right?
if it was
The
fake,
metal
it could be
part.
plastic. But if it has a knife, that should still go off too.
Because like going into MSG, they make you empty your pockets.
Right.
They open your bag.
I mean, this was an outdoor venue, and so maybe it's different. Like no, but they still just have like the doorway
crazy.
Security things that you walk through. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, also at the same time, make you empty your pockets and shit. Heck, where they just go, you're good.
Yeah, it reminds me
you're
of
good.
that.
They have a stick.
You know that meme, that one guy with the Premier League guy.
I mean,
that
is
meme.
that's probably more. And now then something like this happens, and now security tightens up.
Yeah.
That's really what happens is security tightens. They get lax. Something bad happens.
Yep.
They go back.
It's gonna
They
take
get
like
tight,
2 hours to get
lax,
in the venues
lax.
now.
Yeah. Speaking of the Legion of Skanks, I know I haven't heard it yet, but I know they were talking about me and my interview with Nikki Glazer on their Monday Night Live show. I think it comes out on Fridays to the public, to iTunes. They do their live show on Monday nights, and then it comes out later in the week. And I knew this was going to happen because that weasel Blind Mike was he tagged Jay and Lewis in the Legion of Skanks. If you don't know them, Legion of Skanks is like they're like the last bastion of podcasters who like say whatever the fuck they want, don't care, doesn't matter. And so it's Luis Gomez and Big J Okerson and Dave Smith. But when I went on their show recently, or not recently, a couple months ago, and I was on with Luis and Jay, and it was the day after Nikki Glaser had put out her cringeworthy song about Bob Saget dying. So we were on the show, and they just really fucking went in on her. And me and John were kind of like, this is fucking awkward. We clowned her a little bit, and we played along. And then afterwards, I don't know, within that week, Nikki had texted me being like, oh, I heard you were bashing me on a podcast. And I was like, no, yeah, kind of, I don't know. So then when she came on my show, I was like, yo, I want to apologize for talking shit about you behind your back. That's what Big Blind Mike cut out and tagged Big J and the Legion of Skanks, like little tattletale rat that he is. And so the Blind Mikes of the world find that to be, so offensive to their constitutional rights that he had to run and tattle on me to the Legion of Skanks. So I'll see what Luis and Jay have to say. I don't know. I haven't heard it yet, but I can't comment on it till I actually hear it. But I've seen enough people tweeting at me. So, yeah, I know what happened. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't really care. 888-STOOL-22 is the phone number. We can open up calls early today. What's the password here? Barstool?
Yeah, lowercase. Yep, lowercase Barstool. You see under the Met Gala stuff?
Yeah, the Met Gala. I love every year now because it gets people so fucking riled up.
Yep.
And when I first learned about the Met Gala, I was one of those people who was like, this is fucking insufferable. This is just rich people flaunting their money. Like, what are we doing? Why do we care? Why do we praise this? Then
the way you do it, you drop little nuggets and
everywhere.
That was crazy.
And it looks like I'm just talking. If you're a moron, a smooth brain waterhead idiot, you're not picking up on it. You think I'm actually being serious about the Met Gala. If you have 2 ears and a brain, you can hear every reference that I'm dropping in. But it went right over everybody's head. And they did. I mean, the comments, as always, were like, we don't care. This is, why does anyone give a shit about this? You're better than this. Fire KFC. Like, you fucking morons. This has nothing to do with the Met Gala. I'm talking about abortion. Do we have it? It should be up on, if you go to my Instagram, it's like the first or second video. I felt vindicated in this. Yeah, here we go.
9 months after the 2021 edition, where the rich and famous people of Hollywood give birth to the biggest moments in fashion. Where the celebrities row through the waters of fashion while we, the poor people, wade in the deep end like scum. It's the most important night of the year, where everything else stops, nothing matters, where we get to live vicariously through the rich and elite. Oh, what a night it is! Even the famous celebrity parents plan to make a night of it. Just like Blake Lively. She wore a stunning gown where it changes from copper to green, just like the Statue of Liberty, representing the freedom that these women have to do what they want with their bodies. But don't get me wrong, it's a very polarizing
it's not even
event.
clever. It's heavy-handed at this point.
25 states do like it.
25 states like it. 25 states don't.
Like it. But don't be old-fashioned. These are not clothes that they just pull off the coat hangers.
Hanger was
These are
that was rough.
outfits that they accept to give your outfit life. You want to make an explosion when you walk through that door. Drop a pipe bomb on that event to make sure you have the mother of all appearances. Last night was.
I mean, if you can't pick up on that, I don't know what to tell you.
It was so obvious. People just ran to the comments
right away. They just see the caption.
Yeah,
and that's like I can't even.
The best one was on your page. Somebody was like, last night, did you even see what really happened? And it's like, come on.
You fucking. And I can't blame people. It's not like, everybody when they browse the internet, they're just scrolling through tweets, reading headlines, reading captions, and that's it, And so I can't knock anybody who you see a thing about the Met Gala, you see a caption that says the Met Gala is the most important thing in the world, and you jump right into the comments and you say that I should be fired and that, I'm an idiot. But I know there was also people who listened who weren't getting it. I mean, it was every sentence. 9 months, Roe v. Wade, coat hangers, Planned Parenthood, mother, birth. It was, what started off as like a little clever and subliminal ended up being very like heavy-handed and hack, and people were still not getting it. I don't know what to tell you, man. I feel very vindicated that the same people who are probably always in the comments being like, fire KFC, this guy sucks, this guy's ruining Barstool, are the same morons who couldn't pick up on anything that I was talking about there. Speaking of not picking up on it, how great was it the other day, Nick, when we all come into the KC radio studio and we're all talking like, yo, kind of crazy that like Roe v. Wade is getting like overturned. And Pabs was like, huh? What?
Pabs was like, the Mets were on last night. What? What's going on? Yeah.
We're like, you know what's going on, right? He was like, no. What? And I was like, all the abortion stuff. And he was like, what?
You know what was even better was coming home after that day and telling all my roommates about it who had no clue too.
You're the smart one of the bunch.
Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing, man. I'm not going to get all political about this. I certainly don't need a bunch of fucking religious nuts calling up today. But unless you are like a religious freak, I just don't understand being anti. And I'm talking about like normal people shit. I'm not talking about late term. I'm not talking about like post 16 weeks where you're like, that's different. That is straight up like giving birth to a kid and murdering it. I'm saying just regular people who get stuck in a situation where they're too young or too poor or the baby's sick or rape or any of the myriad reasons why you might not be able to have a kid and raise the kid to live a happy, healthy life. I just can't imagine anybody not being down with that. Like, even to the men, like, of course the women, all the women are like, it's our bodies, this happens. We need to be able to, make the decision for ourselves. But even guys, I'm like, I guess the same dudes who are yelling about that have never had a girl. I personally want there to be something in place that I can turn to in those desperate times. And the people who can't, I think those are people in all situations, whether it's this case or other political issues, the people who just cannot put themselves in somebody else's shoes, and they just cannot see life from another perspective, where it's like, I don't care that you're a young girl who's been raped and now is pregnant. Like if you can't empathize with that and sympathize with that and put yourself in those shoes and realize why that needs to be in place in order to help the people of those situations, you're just a bad person who can't, ever view how, like, the horrors of life that you haven't luckily had to go through. So I'll leave it at that. But, out here educating the guys like Pabs, it's good. It's good to know that we're reaching the Gen Z or X or whatever the fuck you guys are. I'll open up the calls. We'll go to them early. You can start calling in now. I'll take them throughout the show. 888-STOOL-22. All here now. It is Mike from Florida. Mike. What's up, Mike?
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, KFC?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Good, man. Good. First off, I want to say I'm not an OBS, I'm not an original Black Stoolie, but I want to call us the 21.
My man.
New 21%. Yeah.
Zod, have you heard this?
The OBS, I like that.
But have you heard about the 21?
No, the 21.
So hang on for a second, Mike. Let me explain it. I sat down with our marketing team the other day. They made this huge deck explaining it. This is what they go out to clients to explain what KFC Radio is and the audience. They said they did a demographic breakdown. 21% of my audience is black.
Really?
I was like, I don't think there's 21 black people that listen to this, let alone 21%.
Are you serious?
They did all of their demographics and shit. They had all these stats. 40% of my audience are parents. It's like they're like 2 times as likely to be sports fans. They're 1.7 times as likely to make above $75,000, 21%. And 21% is African American. So I'm trying to find out if it's true or not. And I keep tweeting it out, hoping that there's going to be a rush of people being like, "Yeah, I'm a member of the 21." It's been few and far between, but Mike,
shout out,
Mike is in the building as a member of the 21. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Shout out, no problem, man, no problem. I got in late on the live show, so I don't know if you put photos or the videos of the whole Dave Chappelle thing. But did you see my man's on the stretcher, bro?
Dude, the arm limb. It's one thing if you just get roughed up and arrested. It's another thing if it's like, oh, if you ever do this to Dave Chappelle and his crew again, or any comedian for that matter, you might get put in the fucking hospital. It ain't worth it. That's not happening a second time.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Second part, because everybody talked about the whole Will Smith thing. Oh, is it keep happening again? For this to be the second attempt, and for
he is 21%.
I don't know if you guys are. I'll tell you this. When I watch it, I do security myself. So I'm watching it. I'm listening to it on the podcast app. I'm watching it at home on YouTube, doing the whole nine. So I don't know if you're counting all the streams. It literally might be me, to be honest, but I don't know. But
I love it, dude. I appreciate the support. Thank you, bro.
Actually,
anytime.
I know.
Good.
Sorry, Kev, real quick, we got to throw to a break and just toss up a slate. We're having some buffering issues.
Sure.
It'll be about a minute.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, fix up some tech issues, and then we'll be back. All right, we're back. Hopefully it's all good. If you're still experiencing any buffering issues, hop in the YouTube chat, let them know, and I think the solution for that might be to start a whole new stream. But I think right now we're good. Look good so far?
Let's see. It looks like we're gravy.
All right.
Like we are. Yeah, it looks like we're gravy.
Let's keep it moving then. But let us know if there are any issues.
So by the way, just before I forget, on that 21%, I actually know one of the 21s. My cousin is so obsessed. He's out in Malaysia. He is obsessed with you, and he thinks I am the coolest man because I work with. He watches every single one of your 1 minute mans. He swears by you for news. It's crazy.
I hate to sound like I have black friends guy, but when that came out, I had a handful of different guys all reach out to me being like, no way, dude, I'm the only one. And I'm like, well, you said it, you said it, you said it, you said it, which is only a handful of guys. But I'd imagine if there's enough that are in contact with me or DM me or message me or whatever, that means there's a decent chunk otherwise that are listening that are part of like the silent majority. So I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that we put on a show for all people.
1 minute man.
Dude, 1 minute man, yeah. 1 minute man gets to everybody.
Because that pops up like in my school WhatsApp groups, my
Everywhere,
high school WhatsApp groups. It's crazy.
Bro, I get like moms in the street, young, old, black, white, like everybody knows.
Yeah.
I actually, at Barstool, the ballpark the other day, this girl says to me, hey, 1 minute man. And I was like, what's up? She was like, wait, is that what you go by? Do you go by KFC? Do you go by 1 minute man? What is it? I was like, I don't know, whatever you know me from. As long as you know me from something.
You remember back in the day when you used to make fun of Dave, the pizza guy? That's you now.
Yeah, but,
1 minute man.
Yeah, no, I remember, Dave, people used to be like, you're the pizza guy. And Dave had this library of funny blogs and amazing videos and all this shit that's like way more representative of like who he is. And he's just now the pizza dude. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks. And now I'm the same guy with all these podcasts and all these videos, and I'm just like the 1 minute man. But I'll take it, bro, because the 1 minute videos, I'll ride that all the way to the fucking top. Dude, I did 20 million views on 4 videos last week.
That's insane. When you tweeted out that you crossed 1 billion views.
1 billion views since I started. But at this rate, I mean, and that was an exceptionally large week. It was something like 19.8 million views on 4 videos. At that rate, I would do 1 billion in a year. 1 billion a year is some shit that I never even thought was fucking humanly possible for me. But yeah, 19.7 or 19.8 million on 4 videos, and the kickers are not a single sponsor on any of them.
Yeah, and that's the videos that you can count. You're forgetting about the WhatsApp rips and
right,
stuff.
Right. How many more people are seeing that? I'm ready to fucking kill our salespeople. If I don't get some fucking ads up on 1 minute man soon, I'm gonna go burn this fucking place to the ground. 19 million views and none of them making any money. It's insane. Let's go back to the calls. My girl Catherine's on the line. What up, Kat?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, girl?
I was finishing up yesterday's KFC radio episode with Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin. Wait, for the people who don't know, Zah, you'll like this. Yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Yeah, I mean, Jackie.
She's something else.
Jackie is something else, dude. She is one of a fucking kind. Explains her theory yesterday. We started out talking about kind of like weird stuff about how when you die, kind of like reincarnation and rebirth and past lives. And she has this theory. I'll tell you what did blow my mind when Jackie goes, now we already know this. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. I was like, whoa, okay. All right. Albert Einstein over
How do you
here.
know that?
Yeah, maybe she is some fucking smart person in a past life. But she says so there's all this energy in the world, and when somebody dies, that energy needs to go somewhere else, and we absorb it, and so we have the energy of other people. And I'm kind of following her. Obviously, that's like a science fiction kind of wacky thought, but I'm understanding what she's saying. And then all of a sudden she goes, and that's why I feel like I was Benjamin Franklin. And I was like, what? What are we talking about? She thinks that in a past life, she was either connected to or had something to do with Benjamin Franklin. And naturally, the new nickname now is Benjamin Franklin for Bean Girl. But, that's one of those things when we played the clip. If you don't listen to our show and you don't know Jackie and you watch just that 60-second clip, you might be inclined to be like, this is stupid. What is this show talking about? What is this girl? Like, this is dumb. This is just, like, silly, right? Like, this isn't even real, like, conversation or actually funny. When you know our show and you know the conversation we're having and you know Jackie, that shit is hilarious.
The fact that was 2 hours into the podcast and she just dropped, she drops it and goes, I've told you this before.
Yeah,
It's
I told you. No, you fucking haven't.
Like, what do you mean? Yeah, we remember if you said you were Benjamin Franklin in a past life.
We would know if you said that, bitch. And then she was like, yeah, I guess it sounds a little funny now that I'm saying it out loud. You think? This bitch trying to say she's a fucking 1700s freedom fucking founding father. All right, so what do you got, Catherine, now that I've set the table here?
So Fights was very quick to be like, okay, like I feel also connected to Doc Holliday. Nobody else in that room said anything, so I think it's only right you have to poll the entire office.
Okay.
I'm sure someone has something up their sleeve, like they have this deep feeling that they just haven't had the opportunity to express. But also, that is not the craziest thing Jackie has said. And
what do you think the craziest thing is?
I think the beans in the socks is crazy.
Yeah, beans in the socks is nuts. Beans in the socks is just
top.
funny and poor.
Wait, do explain.
When she started talking about like getting her nails done and not like and being allergic to the acrylic and just like going with it.
That was great too.
I've never been more seen as part of whatever percent females you have on the podcast, but also as a mother, because it's also just like I've half the time I've gone for like 2 haircuts in a week because I just said fuck it to the first one and said, you know what, I actually don't like it, and went back to go get the other. But this you guys have gold on your hands, and I wasn't a big Jackie fan at the beginning. She is so famous. And
wait, why weren't you a Jackie fan in the beginning?
I don't know. I feel I'm growing into like the old grandmother at 30 and just like, you kids and that kind of thing. And she's so young. It's probably jealousy because she is such a baddie, and I want to be a baddie like her.
I told her she's got to start to sell baddie merch.
Oh, I would probably sell out the whole thing. The 30-year-old at the grocery store with her baby.
I'm telling you,
straight up beans in my socks.
She is one of a kind. I called her the female Feidelberg for a reason, because some of the things that come out of her mouth and the ideas that she has are just absolutely absurd. I appreciate the call, Catherine. I'll let you know who I think I am in a past life in a second. Zah, the beans in the socks. Jackie.
Yeah, that does not sound.
No, you're thinking like actual, like pouring the beans into the socks? Yeah. So Jackie takes the cans, puts them in the ankle of a tube sock, and uses them as like weights to do leg lifts. So she said that like, I got my cans of beans while I'm doing my exercises, and we're like, what? She's like, yeah, bean socks. And she just says these things as if everybody in the world is doing them. And so she became Bean Girl off of that one. And we made her walk around with beans in her socks, and it's a whole thing.
That one hasn't left her. She regrets that one, I think, the most.
She's like so mad. I think she doesn't want people to associate beans with her because people say that beans make you fart. And then when you're Bean Girl, she thinks that people think that it means she's Fart Girl. But that's not what it is, guys. Jackie is not Fart Girl.
Yeah, sure.
Not Fart Girl. She's just Bean Girl because of her exercise routine. She doesn't fart. At least I have not heard or seen or smelled her fart. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny. But
she's clipping this right now, so I guarantee this one doesn't see
I'm
Twitter.
Guaranteeing this is not going to make the cut.
We'll get it in post.
She said that she was Benjamin Franklin Like, so casual. She also, last week in Nashville, she was explaining how she has an allergy to the, when you get a dip dye nails manicure, there's something that they put, like it's a gel or an acrylic or whatever it is, that she's flat out allergic to. She breaks out in hives on her fingers and wherever she touches.
And she knew about it.
And she knew about it, and she said, don't do it. And then they started to do it, and she just let them continue to do it because, in her words, she wanted to be a baddie. And then said baddie had fucking hives all over her neck and chest and hands. So that's what we're dealing with here.
Too. Like it
didn't stop.
She just kept them on. She lost one the first day. She's gonna be pissed. I'm just tossing her under the bus right
best. She is the absolute fucking best. Nobody better than her. But this latest one, she just has some kind of pull to Benjamin Franklin, which is insane because I've never once heard her. If she was like, I can't even imagine how this would come up, but if she was like, I'm really into like American history, or like, oh, I'm reading this book about like the American Revolution or whatever about Benjamin Franklin, I can't even fathom Jackie talking about that.
What's funny is she's come up with those inventions before, like the popcorn funnel, which I still have yet to see.
Ben Franklin is an inventor.
She didn't connect it to that.
No,
like,
maybe
I brought
that's
that
what
up
it
the
is.
other day, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that too." I'm like,
"Well,
what was this?"
She just texted me now saying, "Love this girl who's calling in." Yeah, I bet you do. She's giving you the biggest fucking shout out in the world. Also, I give it like another year before it's like Jackie Cooper, see you later, because the fame is going right to her head. Every time somebody like says, am I famous? Do people know me? Yesterday she's doing this head twirl, like the hair twirl and shit. I was like, oh God, someone get this bitch back behind the cameras. We can't have her in front of the cameras. But as far as I could see, Zod, do you have any weird connections like that?
I was trying to think. It's like, what do I like? It's
like, do you believe in any of that reincarnation shit?
So
Or
you know
past
what?
lives,
Lately, I've been starting to think about it because I'm like, we've been flirting with death here in New York with the whole the lightning that sounded like a bomb recently, the fucking guy in the thing. So it's like, what do I come back as? So we more believe it's animals that you come back as. Yeah, you have one round. You have one round of life as something. So human. Once you've done your human leg, you're done. You're coming back as a.
And then you do one animal and you're done?
And you're done.
And then you're in the dirt, like just blackness forever. Yeah. What animal would you want to come back as?
Elephant. Yep.
Elephant's like king of the
big,
fucking
mighty. No one fucks with you except for an ant. That's about it.
And it's kind of while what's cool about being an elephant, like when you're a lion, yeah, you're kind of like the top dog, apex predator, all that shit, but you're still like a vicious.
Yeah, you're hated.
Yeah, you're feared and hated, and you got to fight and kill and all that shit. Elephants just kind of chill.
When elephants walk up to the water hole, no one runs.
Yeah, they're just like,
no one runs
he's cool.
Yeah,
he's cool.
So
and what do they eat?
Grass.
Just
grass.
straight grass.
Actually, not even grass. Trees. So the leaves and stuff like that. So
and that's
leaves,
enough
fruits, and all
eat
that.
I always thought that was so crazy. Like a brontosaurus was so fucking big, but leaves were enough to keep that thing going.
They're eating they literally all they do is eat. They're eating all day, sleeping, drinking water. Them three things. So it's like a shit ton. They're demolishing trees.
Just nonstop. I love
they
that.
are
Just
demolishing
trees.
Ginormous trees.
I like that. I feel like I would come back. You know what's funny? I had this revelation the other day. I was thinking about why everybody loves dogs and hates on cats. Call me up. I'm just gonna tweet out the link right now to take calls. We're talking Chappelle, Legion of Skanks. So, people love dogs and hate on cats, right? Myself included. But when you take those personality traits and make them human, what you like about dogs, you hate in a human.
Humans, yeah.
And what you don't like about cats is what
what
makes
you
a
love
cool
about-
human.
yeah.
Like if there's a human that comes up to you and is like, "Hey man, what's going on? What's going on? Do you want to pet me? You want to play with me? What are we doing? What are we doing? Everywhere you go, I go. Let's get into bed. Let's get on the couch. I'm gonna follow you here. I'm gonna sit on top of you." You're like, "Get the fuck away from me." Meanwhile, when a cat is like, there's a reason why they say like you're a cool cat. Like the cat is like, "Who are you?" Like, yeah, you're over there. Like, maybe I'll come talk to you. It's the guy who like leaves them wanting more. It's the guy who like plays hard to get. That's always considered cool. But when it's animals, you're like, ugh. Maybe that's the problem with dating and why these girls out here are like, I can't get a man. It's because you're looking for, you got a problem with the cats of the world and not the dogs of the world. And you need to start thinking about that same energy when you're talking about humans. You want the guy who's playing hard to get and who's super cool and blows you off. And guess what? He's a cat. He's an asshole. Meanwhile, the nice guy, he's the golden retriever. And you're not turned on by that. You don't think it's cool. But guess what? That's the lovable guy that you should want in your life. So maybe you should take your animal energy and apply it to your human life and your dating life, and then you wouldn't be some dusty old bitch broken alone, just hypothetically speaking. But as far as animals that I would want to come back as, you know what an ocelot is?
Yeah.
I think I want to be an ocelot. I feel like an ocelot is an animal that not many people know, but when they see them, they're like, oh shit, that's a pretty cool animal. And I feel like it's pretty rare that people like to like not know an animal. I mean, you guys knew who it was, but you know what I'm saying. An ocelot's not like at the top of the list of animals that you talk about.
Do you know right now because your kid's playing Fortnite or it's in what's one that Keegan loves? Minecraft. There's
there's an ocelot there?
Ocelots all over him. That's how I like know what they are.
Oh, interesting.
It's my little brother plays it.
I'm telling you, I honestly think Keegan is going to be a straight-up gamer. Like, it started out where I was like, oh, wow, you're pretty good, like, on the Nintendo Switch. And now everything he watches on YouTube is just he's watching the video game plays, like playthroughs, watching people play, watching Twitch streams that are up on YouTube. And everything he says now, he's like, oh, I got to level up, and I got to like get this, I got to get the fire charge so that I can kill the zombies. He has all this vocabulary. He knows how to play it all. My only problem is I think I might have said this on KC Radio, I don't know. He's killing all the animals. And I feel like that's the first step to becoming like a school shooter, is that you kill animals. And I was like, no killing animals. I just watched him like massacre a pig the other day on Minecraft, just beating this pig to death with like a club. I was like, what are you doing, dude?
I think that is part of the gameplay a little bit because I've seen my little brother doing that, and they like have to harvest meat or something.
Oh.
And like it's really like you need to survive, so you need to kill
You gotta
an animal.
kill pigs.
Oh yeah.
Kill pigs.
Wait, how old is he now?
He'll be 5 in July.
All right, so you passed Paw Patrol and them now.
He likes Paw Patrol. He likes
Probably the back end of it.
he still likes Bubble Guppies though. My kids love Bubble Guppies,
Yeah,
even
my
though they're like a
nephew
little
too.
too old for that. They still ride with that shit. Shay's been watching that since she was 1. She'll be 7 in December, and she still fucking loves it. So I'm like, I don't care if it's too young for you, whatever. Like, as long as you are just fucking watching it and not bothering
Yeah,
me.
my nephew's 7 now, and he's moved on to he's watching YouTube videos of like soccer stuff.
So yeah, YouTube's a problem because every now and then, random shit pops up. Shay is the most like nervous girl in the world. She's always asking me questions about like, what happens if a tree falls on our house? I'm like, what? Why are you worried about that, dude? And so, kangaroo is a good choice, TJ. That's a good one. The kangaroo. I feel like though, is the kangaroo living a good life? I feel like the kangaroo's out in like the Australian outback, just like sweating all day. I'm trying to get an animal that lives like a life of like in the lap of luxury, like underneath the brush of a rainforest in the shade, just hanging out and chilling.
Get one of those mini giraffes.
Ooh, mini giraffe would be cool. Mini horse on like.
I don't even know if those are real. I just saw
No,
them in
that's
that
not
one
real.
commercial. Yeah,
That's not real.
I was-
But the mini horse is real. The mini horse is real, and you can live on like on the ranch of like a super rich person. That
I feel
would be
like
fire.
all the fucked up shit is on land.
Uh,
I feel like anything and everything fucked up. For
So
like
you
animals
say
is
you
land.
wanna
So I'd
come
go
back
for
as
like
a
sea,
fish?
Yeah, for like a sea animal, and I mean the ocean. The ocean is huge.
come
The
back as a
ocean is
whale
huge,
and just
yeah.
kind of just like
just explore the
glide
ocean
around,
floor, yeah.
just floating, weightless all
It's
day.
like everything that is problematic is on land.
Mhm.
There's humans on land.
Yeah, we're the fucking problem. I'm like, get me out. Like, I'll come back as any animal over this human shit. Give me the people who have, they don't have the brain power to be fucking assholes. That's what you want. Back to the calls. We got who's this? We got Justin on the line. What's up, Justin? Justin, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, Justin?
I'm just calling to say that the Mets are the greatest team in MLB. They're killing it. It's all thanks to Buck Showalter.
Dude, I don't know if it's all thanks to Buck. Buck is certainly a big part of it. The New York Mets are the real deal. And I know that people, I'm not going to do a huge segment on it right now. You can go listen to everything. All my Mets talk is on the Mets podcast. We got to believe it's me, Clem, Kyle, Meek, Pavs, Nick Bono. We got all the Mets fans in the office contributing on the podcast over there. We are riding high right now. Just swept the Braves doubleheader yesterday. We're playing a fourth game with them today, trying to take 3 out of 4 from the defending champs. We have played the most difficult record. We have the most difficult schedule in baseball right now, and still have the best winning percentage, I think, right up there with the Yankees. The Mets are good, and people can't handle it. And I don't know why. Because
just like to hate.
They like to hate, but like I think it's a New York thing. I think a lot of the country doesn't like New Yorkers and city slickers and assholes like me, and we get lumped in with like, you know, the shitheads of New York and the Bronx creatures, and they want to hate because when a bad team does good, generally in sports, it's usually embraced. You know, when a bum-ass team in any of the 4 major sports all of a sudden turns it around and is finally good, usually that's like, oh, wow, let's jump on this bandwagon. Or like, hey, like, look, the Pirates are actually doing it for a change, and you're happy for their fans. And for whatever reason, the Mets don't get that treatment. Maybe it's because of the payroll. Maybe there's still money there. Maybe it's because we've been losers when we should be winners, and so as like underachievers, we don't get the love. But all I know is that we have one of the most dedicated fan bases, if not the most. We've got the loudest, the most intense. We've been like dying for this for most of our lives. My generation has gone our entire lives without seeing one. So, like, why, when the Cubs broke the curse, when the Red Sox broke the curse, it was like this amazing thing for all of baseball and all of sports. Well, if you're me right now, 37 years old, I was 1 when the Mets won the World Series in '86. I haven't experienced it. I don't know it. I haven't lived it. My entire life, I've never seen a championship. Most of us who are watching now, that major demographic that's watching, none of us have seen it. And why people wouldn't be happy for us having a winning team, I just don't understand. And don't get it twisted. We are a winning team. This is not a fluke. This is not early season luck. This team puts the ball in play. They don't hit home runs. They're like last when it comes to hard hit balls. But they make contact, and they put the ball in play. They situationally hit. They come up with clutch hits. And that's what gets you to the promised land. Every year we see a team that relies on home runs, and they crush in the regular season, and when it comes to crunch time, the bats go cold. You don't get that 3-run home run when you're looking for it because you're playing the best of the best with the best pitching every day in the postseason, and you end up getting bounced. It's the guys who can – we had 15 hits the other day, 10 runs, not a single home run because everybody can just hit for average, hit for contact. The pitching has been stellar. I'll take that team 100 times out of 100 over the guys who are just waiting for that 3-run bomb. So this team has professional hitters. They overhauled everything. The guys they went and got, the Canas of the world, the Martes, the Eduardo Escobars, they've got those guys who are just professional baseball players. They've got the role players and the spark plugs like my guy Travis Jankowski. The pitching has been lights out, and they're doing this all without Jacob deGrom. And if somehow, some way he comes back, watch the fuck out. I've already told you that I will be obnoxious the whole time if the Mets are good. Maybe that's why people don't want to see me win.
Like Arsenal fans.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to Dan in Tampa. What's up, Dan? Danny.
Yo.
What's up, Dan? Dan, go talk.
Dan.
I don't know. Okay, whatever your name is. What's up?
Yo, it's James. Yeah, I saw your post that you were trying to talk Legion of Skanks and Chappelle and everything.
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
Well, I got an interesting point that all these people getting rushed on stage is from Legion of Skanks starting the revolution.
You when Big J got bum rushed?
Yeah.
And you think that people are doing it now because of that?
Yeah, I mean I'm not saying Legion of Skanks isn't huge. I mean, they're big. I listen to them, and I'm down here in Tampa, but I think there wasn't much repercussion from it, so everyone's pushing for it now. I think it's somewhat appropriate. I guess they're seeing how high they can go with it.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Big J getting yanked off stage, but that was a little while ago now. I think that was a couple summers ago. So I don't know if you can give them the I don't know. I don't get that call. It did happen to Big J, but I don't think it has anything to do with like the Legion of Skanks fans like leading some revolution of people jumping on stage. I don't think that's what happened or what they want. But
yeah, I don't get that one.
Yeah, I do love like this. There are fan bases like the Skanks, like the Minifans, like old school Barstool Stoolies, where you just get so convinced that your whatever the thing is you love is the end all be all. That we created everything, that we're responsible for everything. Like the people that think that Barstool like invented some of the lingo that we use. Like I know there are people who think that mind bottling is from Barstool. And they don't know it's a Will Ferrell line from like a major fucking comedy movie. Like some of like the slang that we use and some of the terms that we use are just like things that were in pop culture when we were blogging, and you found them through us and only heard us use it and think that we invented it, and that's cool, and I love that. And I know that happens with the Minifans and Skanks when you have like truly diehard, dialed-in fan bases, but a lot of these things are just very, very common. That, and I shouldn't say that bum rushing the stage is common. That's not. But in regards to when you think that your favorite show, podcast, blogger, video personality, whatever, invented things, chances are it's 2021, bro. Chances are nobody invented anything. Everything's being recycled at this point.
Pretty sure it's 2022. But
what did I say? 21?
yeah.
God damn, man. Let's go to Mark in New York. What's up, Mark?
To be fair, I checked my calendar.
Hi.
What do you got, Mark?
I'm just curious what your thoughts are on Tiger Woods coming back and just the fact that for the past, 8 to 10 years, golf, no one even talks about it anymore, since he's been gone.
I
think he'll be any good this year?
I don't want to say that nobody talks about it. And maybe I'm doing exactly what I just accused people of doing because of the rise of foreplay with Riggs, Frankie, and Tommy, Trent. I feel like I've paid a little more attention to golf because they've brought it to like the common man level where I now follow along with all the storylines.
Okay.
I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that when Tiger is playing and when he was in his peak, that golf was probably I would say 2,000 times more popular than it is when he's not playing. But it is kind of like I doubted that he was ever going to win another major, and he had that incredible, miraculous storybook Masters win. But now coming back again after the car wreck, I didn't watch it, but I guess it was pretty. It was a pretty tough scene when he was failing to make the cut at the last major that he was playing in. I feel like it's a sport that I would rather ride off into the sunset, but also it's a sport that people play until they're 70. So Tiger's he's gonna. I at this rate, if the car wreck didn't stop him, I feel like he's just gonna keep trying and trying and trying and trying, no matter how ugly it gets.
I agree. Have you noticed that the golf networks tend to try to make certain people out to be the next Tiger Woods, and
of course,
off like Rory McIlroy and things like that.
Dude, I mean, I remember thinking, oh, Rory's next, and I thought it was cool. He's an Irish guy, and they were tagging him with that, and then it's not even close. Not that Rory is, and that's what's crazy is you can be a very successful Hall of Fame level golfer, but that doesn't mean you're even close to the Tiger level. We're probably just now getting far enough away from Tiger's prime where you're going to have golf fans who are too young to really know how it went down. Tiger's going to be Tiger's going to be that next level player he's the next guy where the stats don't make sense. Where like if you talk to like a teenager right now who's golfing and you're trying to explain his run where he won like every major in a row when he was winning the Masters by like 20 strokes. And they'll be like, yeah, no, he was great. And you're going to have to be like, no, you don't understand. He was a fucking phenomenon between the racial implications and the way he was dominating and how athletic he was. And then obviously you could make the argument that everything with the ups and the downs, the uniqueness of him as a player and the uniqueness of the sport that we're talking about, he might be the most intriguing athlete ever, all things considered.
He is, and not only that, the first endorser to drop him was Gatorade, and it was the same year that he got his own flavors, and they were good.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Good flavor.
I didn't know. I didn't know that they were the first one to drop him. That was what was crazy too. My hair is fucking wild right now. That was wild because like when you really look at it, it was just a personal thing. Like he didn't do anything illegal. It was certainly unsavory. There was just story after story, woman after woman, and I can understand why you don't want to be attached to it in some regards. But the fact that, like, I remember watching that documentary.
They were keeping him hydrated. It was great.
That should have been the tagline, like Gatorade. You can play 18 and then go fuck a Perkins waitress.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I think they want another Tiger. I just don't think there will be one for a very long time. I don't. There will never be another one in the sense of like when he did it, because he put golf on the map to black people, to young people, to poor people, to the mainstream. There will come another guy who can dominate like him, but he won't have the opportunity to do what Tiger did because golf will already be, on the map mainstream the way it was. Now, if it's years and years and years go by and golf dips so low in popularity, and then there's a new guy who brings it up the way Tiger did, then maybe we'll see it again. But right now, it's hard to imagine the setting ever really being there to have the next Tiger.
And by the way, as a fellow Mets fan, Dwight Gooden is another example of somebody whose stats, much like Tiger Woods, didn't make sense.
They were sick. If you look at 84, 85, and then 86, it was... Bro, for people to understand the Mets' misery, just imagine right now if Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani both ended their careers because of drugs. That's what happened to the Mets in the 80s with Doc and Darryl.
Exactly.
Two absolute phenoms that we were like, they're going to dominate the league for the next decade, and they both go down the tubes because of crack cocaine. Imagine if that happened right now to Trout and Showtime. The world would be in a fucking frenzy. And that was just like, yep, that's the Mets for you, man. So
yeah,
that's our pain. So
and
be happy now that we're good.
Yeah, and it's important to mention, too, the reason why they have such a dedicated fan base is because the Giants left New York and the Dodgers left New York.
Right.
That's why they have the fans they have.
And that's why they're always deep down. People say New York is a National League town. Thanks for the call, man. It was a great call. That's why when the Mets are good and the fans come out of the woodwork, it's a little bit bandwagon, but it's also a little bit like that's what this city and the past generations really were, a National League town, and this is the Mets now. They represent that. And so there are, Yankee fans will always outnumber them, but there is a very loud, dedicated fan base here that wants National League New York teams to be on top. Let's go to Will in Florida. Oh, shit. Will, can you call back? I pushed the X instead of the air button. He wanted to talk about Legion of Skanks. Call back, Will. I'll put you on. In the meantime, let's go to Big Tone. What's up, Big Tone?
Big Tone here.
My guy. What's good?
I'm calling. I wanted to talk to you a little bit. You guys caught me on the Tiger thing. There'll never be another Tiger Woods because of all the things you said, but also the dominating, the women, the stories. It's a made-up story, and he's real.
It is. It's fucking. If you wrote that script and gave it to Hollywood, they'd be like, "This is stupid. This is too unbelievable. This would never happen in golf." And a guy that good, that disciplined, would never become a womanizer, and he wouldn't get caught, and they wouldn't bail on him the way they did. And all of it happened in real life. It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah, they'd be like, dude, it's okay if he wins by 20 strokes, but 13 hookers? That can't be, right? Like,
Yo, I feel like much like Britney, when people realized how fucked up, how badly we treated Britney, people are going to look back on the Tiger thing. Now, he's not really a sympathetic figure at all in the same regard.
No.
But when they made him get up at that press conference and like apologize to the public for having sex with other women, like that was some weird shit that the PGA Tour did to him that I think sat wrong with a lot of people, especially black people, where it was like they made this guy get up there and be like, I'm sorry for shit that he was doing in his personal life that really had no regard. I mean, how many fucking athletes out there cheat on their wives and bang zillions of sluts and they just go out there and nobody cares? But in golf, we had to have a fucking written apology? What?
It was the most cringeworthy apology of all time. But the other thing I was going to say, I caught you with Doc. Some guys can perform on drugs. Like Josh Hamilton, obviously he was a stud, but then he relapsed. LT, his whole career he's smoking crack and stacking guys. It's weird. Like I guarantee you there's players that we just will never hear about who are addicted to drugs.
Yeah, no doubt. Because there's, like functioning addicts and non-functioning addicts. They, the famous story with Doc Gooden was that he missed the World Series parade because he was in a crack house. When you reach that level of addiction where you're not showing up to the places you need to show up to, and when you do show up, you're fucked up and you're not able to perform, or you're blowing all your money, or you have your family step in, or you're just straight up unhappy and you have like mental health issues because you don't want to be an addict. There are people who can just show up, do their job, they have enough money, they don't blow it all, and they can just keep on going. I'm sure there's a ton of people in sports and in business and in every walk of life. But those two guys, it's also LT is the outlier because he was in New York too. But New York in the 80s, man, if you were addicted to the party scene and drugs and coke in New York in the 80s, it's probably pretty hard to keep doing your job at a high level.
And this, like, all the greenies, like, stuff was so much different. All the clubhouse had greenies and gobbling those fucking things up, too. So, yeah, you're right. I guess I didn't even think of that. But your Mets, buddy, they're on a tear.
Dude.
Are we going to have the Yankees-Mets World Series?
I don't know. Listen, I said it before. The Mets have played the hardest schedule in baseball. I feel like the Yankees have been fattening up on the AL East bums. I know they just beat the Blue Jays, but how many times can you beat the goddamn Orioles and keep padding that record, Big Tone? I need to see the Yankees do it.
Everyone needs a confidence boost, okay? You just don't go out there and try and hook up with a 10 right away.
That's true. You guys needed to ease into it. You didn't need to ease into this season. I feel like you're right. I think they're much better than I expected already, that's for sure. I did not think they were going to be a good
Toronto's
team.
no cupcake. Toronto is no cupcake.
No. Toronto is going to be the real deal. They can fucking rake. The big surprise is the Red Sox either win the World Series or the last place team. It happens every fucking, every year. It's one or the other. And this looks like it's going to be one of those years where they're the worst team in baseball, right up there with the fucking Reds. So, I don't know, man.
The Reds are something.
The Reds might lose $120. The Reds might be the worst team ever.
They might not. They might lose 120 games. That's for sure. But listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate it. Let me on. I'm going to hang up. I'll listen. Thank you as again. You're the fucking man. Appreciate it.
Everybody go follow Big Tone. He's on Twitter at Big Tone here. He is he's a gem. I tell you, I say it all the time. He's Clem, the next generation. He's such a fucking lovable dude. Knows his sports, knows his gambling, and he's just a great conversation every time.
I love the characters around in this area. The local New York, New Jersey, the Staten Island characters.
Big Tone here.
They're the best, man.
He opens up his videos every time with a bop bop on his fucking table. He's got his slick back hair. He's a big guy. He needs to be next in the whack pack here at Barstool. He deserves it. I hope that he gets called up to the show. Let's go to Will this time. I'm not hanging up on you this time. Will from Florida. What's up, Will?
Hello?
What's going on, dude?
Kevin, I must ask, why did you backtrack and apologize to Nikki Glazer?
Because I don't like talking shit about people behind their back.
But how are you going to be there on the show and be all in the moment, and then when she comes on, you're like, hey, man, I'm so fucking sorry. Like,
That's exactly what happened. So when I showed up to Skanks that day, Lewis gave me the rundown, and I look, and we were clowning the guys we fucked.
Fucking stupid song she made.
No, but we were clowning. Listen, we were clowning the guys we fucked. Nikki Glazer, and then there was a couple other topics. I don't like the guys we fucked. I like Christina. The other girl, I hate her. I can't stand her. She hates us. I had no problem making fun of them.
Bullshit either.
I have no problem making fun of them. Nikki, I'm friends with, and I've talked to her before about like if she can do something in music. So Lewis and I know that song sucked and it was cringy. So I show up and I see that on the rundown. And I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be an absolute bloodbath. So those guys obviously go to town on her, and I'm sitting there. I'm kind of like, well, yeah, it's not great, but you know, and I'm sitting there the whole time like, oh,
homie.
So then like a couple days go by after that episode airs, and Nikki texted me being like, I heard you were clowning me on a podcast, which was joking, but also not, being like, you know, what the fuck. So I've had people do that to me. I don't like when it happens. If you're going to talk shit about me, do it to my face or call me up or whatever. So that was the first time I had seen her in person. She brought up some sort of, like, whatever the topic she was talking about related to that, and that's why I was like, speaking of that, I owe you an apology. I don't think that that's lame. I don't think that's pussy. I don't think that's cuck. I think I guarantee you this. If it wasn't a chick, you guys wouldn't be saying this. Because I apologize to a woman, you think that I'm a pussy and a cuck.
No,
all it is I talk shit about someone I know. What?
I think because you backtracked.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because that show. No, I didn't backtrack because that song is cringy. And if you go back and listen in what I said, we were laughing about how bad that song was. And the only thing I really said was that she has a fan base that actually would like her music. And that's when Big J was like, take a fucking lap. And everybody booed me because I wasn't going to trash her because I don't do that. I don't talk trash about people behind their backs.
Fuck, I wouldn't be mad at you, but I respect.
Yeah, I don't get that. I got a bunch of Legion of Skanks guys calling me a cuck when it's like, if apologizing for talking shit to someone behind their back makes you a cuck, then I guess I'm a cuck. What do you want me to do, bro?
Legion of Skanks fans are ruthless, though. So what do you?
I know they're savages. That's why I love it, dude. That's why they remind me so much of the early days of Barstool when like nobody gave a fuck about anything. And if you said anything about Barstool, they like ripped you to pieces and they savaged you. It was. I mean, that's an experience, dude. The Skanks guys are always. They're always going to be like the most ruthless out there. But
Big J was my first comedy show, so it's like I got a special love for them.
Yeah, and especially Big J because he is. I think he's like the best storyteller in the world. And
the guy with the fingerless glove.
Yeah, the guy with the finger. I don't know about that, but I don't know what that's all about. But that's his look. That's his thing. But the way he tells those stories and the way, like, particularly that episode that I was on, I said it when we wrapped up that show. I was like, Big J Okerson just threw a perfect game because the songs that he was singing and the shit that he was talking about, all the other, just the rest of that episode, if you go back and watch that, it is one of the funniest performances in podcast history. But all that being said, I will never, ever act like I'm a cuck or a baby or backtrack on this. If I talk shit about you behind your back and then I see you, if I don't hate you, if I hate you, I'll be like, yeah, whatever. If I do like you and I did that, I will apologize 100 times out of 100.
Respect. I respect that.
All right, thanks for the call, bro. We got more Legion of Skanks calls here. We'll do Double D from New Jersey. What's up, Double D?
Yo, bro, guess what?
What?
Chicken butt.
Oh, there you go. That's the Legion of Skanks fans for you. Got him.
I was gonna say when I was screening his call, he sounded like one of the 21%ers, not to stereotype or anything.
He was for sure a member of the 21, but also a Legion of Skanks guy. So, all right. Let me quickly. I don't have as many here. I didn't see everything this week, but I do want to run through a couple of my favorite these days. The New York Post headlines. We did it a little bit on KFC Radio. We did it a lot of it actually. But the dude whose penis fell off and he regrew it on his arm and now he's a real man again.
What?
Bro, this dude, he had some sort of infection where his dick literally fell off and they grew a new dick on his forearm. It was like a dick hanging from his arm like this. And then they took it and they surgically put it back on his groin.
There's pictures?
Oh, there's pictures.
Okay.
They put him on the post with blurred out, but we got pictures and video of uncensored, and we watched it on KFC radio. At one point, he's like wobbling his arm, and this dick is just flopping around on his forearm. It's always a weird guy from the UK. It's always a weird story about like the guy with the biggest dick or the guy with the dick transplant. Let's get the camera on Za. Wait,
we're gonna show Za the video.
Za's reaction is gonna be priceless. All right, I'm just gonna watch in silence.
God, I don't know what I want. Oh my.
Oh my God!
Yo! Oh my God! Oh my God! Yo, you know how dogs have the fucking? You know how dogs have that thing on the side of the extra toe?
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like
Oh,
that. It's
it
that
is
fucking
like
dog
that.
extra toe.
A dog
Holy
pinky. It's like a dog pinky. Yeah, man. Yo, the floppy dick just hanging from his arm. But hey, science, man.
Oh my God!
Fucking science. Could you imagine back in the day you lost your dick? It was just like, hey, you lost your dick. Now in the year 2022, they're like, we'll grow you a new one on your arm.
Why? Why?
Well, because you don't want to not have a dick, dude. My thing is like, couldn't you like, can't you grow it like maybe on my stomach where I can put a shirt over it or something?
How the fuck do you hide it on your arm?
You don't. I mean, you have to wear long sleeves all year. This guy was just walking around, that shit flopping around. Crazy,
This
dude.
guy liked it though.
I think so.
I mean,
look at he did a
on-
photo shoot. He
Yeah.
did like an engagement photo shoot.
Looking at those photos, you could see the one where it's like, all right, now turn your wrist so it dangles down.
Yeah,
Like, it
no,
is
he
so
is. He is for sure loving. Like, I bet you he didn't want to take the dick off his arm. Like just leave it there, guys. I'd rather have my dick arm. We also got back-to-back. This was a week ago. We had back-to-back posts from the New York Post. Vegan who drinks his urine daily swears that it's the secret to eternal youth. And then there was the man who drank a poop smoothie that gave him life-threatening diarrhea. This was my favorite. His tweet said, "Tomorrow I'm going to be deliberately infected with dysentery and kept in a quarantine facility for 11 days as part of a phase 2C vaccine clinical trial. That sounds dark, but I assure you I am extremely excited to overshare this journey with everyone." And the dude ends up almost dying from drinking fucking human shit. And honestly, to that I say, like, good riddance, bro.
That's disgusting.
If you're drinking your piss and eating your shit and you're doing it for fucking some sort of science, you're tempting fate, man.
The piss thing I've heard, because the last king of Saudi Arabia, he lived,
does that?
He lived to like 90 something, and he was drinking his piss every day.
What
that
the
I've heard.
fuck?
But the shit that's
Why
that's
would
gross.
drinking your piss? That's just people who have some weird kink and they just tell themselves that
I
it's
don't get it.
science, right? Because that shit is absolutely fucking gross. Then this was more of a, not necessarily one of those crazy headlines, but I did want to show this article. I make men take an IQ test on the first date. If you go to my likes, Nick, you'll see it there. This model, Candace Kloss, she's a New York girl. She said that men find her intelligence intimidating, and that so she gives her partners a written IQ test because she doesn't want to waste her time with idiots. Regardless of the chemistry, if they don't pass, they're out. Let me see. I want to see if they have her IQ. They're not given any numbers here. If you look at a picture of her, she looks like an actual sex doll. Like, she does not look like a real human as far as with her. Look at that. With that makeup and that filter, that looks like an actual rubber doll that you're having sex with. But I guess she is considered a genius. I don't know. She says behavioral economics is my favorite topic. Growing up, I was huge into science and math. She says you got to have over a 140. She's 136, which makes her the top 2%. So she says they need to be above average on the scale. So that means, you got to be like upwards of like over 120. Za, if a chick came to you and she said, you got to take this test, what would you do?
Yeah, no.
I feel like I would take it as a challenge, though. Like what I would love to do, I would love to take the test. God willing, I get a good enough grade. Do you know what your IQ is? Anybody know what their IQ is?
We did one the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever taken. I've done some sort of aptitude test. I remember as a little kid doing some sort of test like that, but I don't think I ever got like a true IQ test, and I don't think I ever got my number. I would love to take this test, pass her test, have her be all excited, and then dump her. You know, that's why. The only reason why I would do it, I would probably pass the test, I would fuck her, and then I would dump her. Because that's what you get. Like, because guess what? You know what? I do have a high enough IQ, and I am smart enough to know that you fucking suck. So I'm about to hit it and then toss you to the fucking curb because I know I do have a brain, and I know that any chick who makes you take an IQ test to be smart enough to talk to her, let me tell you something. If there's one thing I've learned, smart people fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's and you don't want to be with like a moron waterhead, but it's the regular people who are smart enough to carry a conversation, but they're not so smart that they are cynical. They're not so smart that they are like they can't like you. I honestly believe you can be too smart to just enjoy regular stuff. Like, I want to yell at the TV and watch a Mets game, whereas someone who's like a mega genius would be like, this is a waste of my intelligence. And it's like, yeah, it absolutely is. But I like doing that every night. I like watching, I find silly shit funny. I like doing a podcast with Feidelberg where we try to crush our scrotums together. Like, that's not crush our scrotums together. I meant crush our scrotums simultaneously. Crushing our scrotums together would mean something different altogether. And that would be a bridge too far.
On tomorrow's episode.
Pause.
But I want to I want to be like in that level where I do know what I'm talking about. I can argue and debate, but also I'm dumb enough to just enjoy life. Be dumb enough to enjoy life. Just be normal. You don't have to be extraordinary, because being extraordinary kind of fucking blows. And also, any chick who's putting on all that makeup and filters and trying to make herself look like a goddamn sex doll, I don't care what your IQ is, you ain't that bright if that's how you, well, I guess I shouldn't say that because she probably is getting sponsorship money and getting paid and all that shit. So maybe you are smart. But I'd rather a normal-looking chick with a normal IQ over like a sex doll genius, okay? I want my sex dolls to be brainless. You hear me? I want my sex dolls to just be made out of rubber. Want to be able to fuck you and not have any conversation whatsoever. I don't want to debate you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to ever hear your thoughts. I just want to fuck a rubber girl with no brain. Otherwise, what's the fucking point, man?
I was going to say, do you think this is just a work by her because she knows all the guys are going to be under the genius scale, so then they just try to fuck her better?
That could be possible.
That'd be a good work.
Yeah, that would be, keep the carrot dangling.
Like, I only fuck geniuses, and it's like, but hold on.
Right.
I'm close enough.
Right there. I'm working for it. We'll do a couple more calls, and then we'll get out of here. Jim from New Jersey, I think. Jim, what's up?
I was just wondering if you were salty that Blind Mike exposed your apology to Nikki Glazer.
I'm salty that Blind. I don't care that he like if he really had like thoughts about me having Nikki on the show, that's fine. The way that Blind Mike clipped that and then like tags Jay is just like, that's some bitch shit. That's like, I'm gonna go run and tell on Kevin. Yes, that absolutely is. If you don't think that Blind Mike did that just to be like, I'm gonna go show them what he said, that's exactly what Blind Mike was doing. That wasn't like Blind Mike had any interest in it. That's like, I'm gonna go be a little rat.
No, Kevin.
Yes, that's absolutely what it is.
He spent an hour on his podcast breaking down what your conversation, and he basically
Blind Mike spent an hour on his podcast talking about my conversation with Nikki.
Yeah, and he just eviscerated you, and now
I think that's why it's a podcast that's not succeeding.
Apologize to them too.
I think that's why Blind Mike's podcast is not succeeding, because if he did an hour on me just apologizing for talking about someone behind their back.
He pays his rent with his Patreon, first of all. Second of all, when you go on Legion of Skanks...
Oh, boy.
When you go on Legion of Skanks, are you going to apologize to them, too?
Why would I apologize to them?
Because you threw them under the bus.
What? How did I throw them under the bus? I said, I'm sorry for talking shit about you on a podcast.
Oh, Nikki, that song was mean that they did. I'm so sorry.
So how? First of all, that's not what I said. Second of all, even if that's what I said, that's not throwing them under the bus.
Of course it is.
No, it's fucking not. I didn't say anything about what Jay and Lewis said. I said I was on a podcast. We were clowning you, and I'm sorry for that.
They said. You didn't say anything there. You were being
Yeah.
quiet when you were on with
You're fucking right, dude. I just explained it. I just explained it, you fucking moron. I just said while we were on the show, I didn't say much because I'm friends with her and I don't talk about people behind their back.
And now you're mad at Mike because he tagged Louis. He's supposed to.
I'm not mad. No, that is
Louis,
little internet snitch shit. That is like, look at me. I'm Blind Mike. I love the Legion of Skanks. I ride their dick. I want them to notice me. That's what that is.
Oh, stop it. That's
exactly what it is. That is Blind Mike being a Legion of Skanks dick rider, being like, look at me. I'm going to show them what Kevin said. 100%. That is the only reason.
That's ridiculous.
That's exactly. I mean, tell me what it is then.
It's Mike saying, you have all these comedy guests on your show. He has a show, and if he doesn't get those guests, but you have them on your show, and you act like a little bitch.
Blind Mike doesn't get guests on his show because he's not good at this. Blind Mike doesn't get guests on his show because his show's not good.
He's better than you.
No, I mean, like, he objectively isn't. He objectively isn't because look at where I'm at and where he's at. Okay.
Because
there's a reason why Blind Mike is where he is because he does shit like this. And him and the Minifans, everybody turns this into something that it's so much bigger in their minds than it really is. Everything. It's always about free speech. It's always about my right to say this. Kirk too. All of them. It's like I am friends with someone. We were talking shit about them. When I saw them, I said, sorry for talking about you behind your back. If you can't do that as a person, you suck. And you're turning it into something bigger than it is because I did it with the chick. You're turning it into something bigger than it is because you're threatened by all this dumb cancel culture bullshit. And I can own up and be like, yo, that was fucked up. And if that makes me a pussy or a cuck, and if Lewis and Jay don't like me, or if the Legion of Skanks people don't like that, then that's fucking fine. But anytime I talk about someone behind their back, if I do know them, if I'm friends with them, if I like them, when I see them, if I felt like I was talking shit and I shouldn't have been, or that I went too far, or that it was fucked up, or I know that it upset them, I'm going to say I'm sorry. I think that makes me a normal fucking well-adjusted person. If you don't think that, I probably think you're an asshole. I think you're an asshole who takes things way too seriously. I went on the show. They clowned her. I had some fun with it. I didn't go as far as they did. When I saw her, I was like, sorry for talking shit. Bro, you can think that I'm trying to fuck Nikki, that I'm like groveling, that I'm a cuck, whatever. If it was a dude, it would be the same thing. I talk shit about people behind their back. I say sorry because when it's happened to me, I've been like, what the fuck was that? I thought we were cool. So, Blind Mike, you know, the Patreon members of Blind Mike, go ahead. You don't have to like me for it. Last call, as always, we wrap up with Corey from New York, a fellow genius. Maybe, Corey, do you think that I could fuck Candace Kloss? Do you think I would have the IQ to fuck her?
Oh, absolutely. You're a genius, so 100%.
Thank you, sir. I feel like Candace, maybe she could just talk to Corey, and I can just bypass the IQ test.
Yeah, send her my way. I'll take care of it.
Because you, sir, I mean, you must be a genius as well. As long as you continue to have the taste that I know you have, you must be a genius, of course.
I appreciate that compliment.
We're gonna wrap it up here, but as always, what kind of genius am I, Corey?
You are the most underrated genius in the world, standing next to me.
Thank you, sir. Underrated genius, KFC, signing off. We'll see you guys next week on the Kevin Clancy Show.